Some examples of everyday stories portray a businessman and a student, both coming from different backgrounds and at different periods in their lives. We will now discover how they both end up in a life of crime. Combining tuition fees with the cost of living makes studying a significant expense. The student is seeking to earn money and she comes across a high paying job to develop a piece of code with or without the knowledge of the end goal. So she dreams about all the things that she could buy and decides to take the job. Little does she know that her knowledge is used as a resource by the fraudster who assembles many modules to build a tool for crime. Let's move on to the next real life scenario. A businessman recently lost his job due to the financial crisis and he's looking for a new start. He sees an online job ad with the main responsibility to act as a teleworking operative who transfers funds from accounts and completes the paperwork for the transfers. Believing he's able to work from home with a well-paid job, he applies and works as hard as he can, without knowing that a fraudster is behind it all. The fraudster has similar dreams of getting rich, some of them even world domination. They attract and recruit minions by using deception and the illusion of wealth in order to gain personal financial rewards. They are the distributors, the organizers of crime with malicious intents. Did you guess what each of these stories represent? The businessman who thought he had a good job was in fact a money mule, laundering money. The student helped to build a Trojan horse and deployed code for the crook. Both end up in a life of crime, and it's only a matter of time until they are arrested. The fraudster takes more preventive measurements to avoid being caught. In the end, even the most skillful fraudsters are caught. There are always consequences. Here are some examples. Zeus is a Trojan horse malware package that runs on versions of Microsoft Windows. While it can be used to carry out many malicious and criminal tasks, it is often used to steal banking information by man-in-the-browser keystroke logging and form grabbing. It is also used to install the CryptoLocker ransomware. The main actor for this malware package was Evgeny Bogachev, 30 years old. The Zeus malware has infected millions of computers around the world and caused a financial damage of millions of dollars. Gauzy Trojan is categorized as a Trojan horse which tends to conduct a series of damaging activities to mess up the operating system. It can also cause hardware issues on your infected computer. The main actor for this one? Denis Kalvoskis, 29 years old. He was initially sentenced to 67 years in prison, reduced to 10. Gauzy Trojan has infected over 1 million computers around the world and caused a financial damage of millions of dollars. Carburb is primarily designed to harvest information, but it can also carry out other tasks with the aid of plugins that are injected. The spam emails are designed to look like invoice payment reminders. Carburb has infected millions of computers around the world and caused a financial damage of $4.5 million. Here are now some examples of money mules that have made the news. Nordaya Baker, 48 years old, helped two Nigerian men launder a remarkable amount of $5 million. She was jailed for 6 years. Sanaya Kumari, 50 years old, received stolen funds of nearly $300,000, transferred those abroad, and used benefits of criminal conduct. She was sentenced to 26 months. Michael Egg, 23 years old, passed sums of $5,000 and $21,000 through his bank account to accounts located overseas as a result of a phishing scam. He was jailed for 26 weeks. So we all know now that a fraudster is a person who uses deception to secure unfair or unlawful gains. So what is a hacker exactly? A hacker is a person who uses computers to gain unauthorized access to data. Hackers come in multiple forms: those with good intent, those who start with good intent, and those with bad intent. So now let's structure hackers in two main categories. First category, the white hat hackers. These are the good guys, the computer security experts who are specialized in penetration testing and in other methodologies to ensure that a company's information systems are secure. These IT security professionals rely on a constantly evolving arsenal of technology to battle hackers. The second category, the black hat hackers. These are the bad guys, who are typically referred to as hackers or crackers. The term is often used specially for hackers who break into networks or computers or create computer viruses. Black hat hackers continue to outspace white hats. They often manage to find a weak spot, whether due to human error or laziness, or with a new type of attack. Black hat hackers, their motivation is generally to get paid. Now, what is driving the hacker to commit fraud? There are three main factors present at the same time: motivation, opportunity, and rationalization. Motivation, these are pressures that lead to fraud. For example, blackmail, unable to pay a loan, a financial debt, gambling, drugs, bills, maintaining a lifestyle beyond means. Opportunity, abuse of trust in solving financial problems and low perceived risks. Rationale, first time offenders like fame, blameless crime, or a lack of foreseen punishment. The hacking motives are for 49% opportunistic, 33% industrial espionage, financial crime, terrorism, 15% dissatisfaction with the employer or with the job, 7 social activism, and 6% of other. Okay, we have just seen in the previous examples that there is usually a crime overlord. In a galaxy far, far away, the overlord is Emperor Palpatine, the Supreme Commander Darth Vader, and the minions are the stormtroopers. Have you ever heard of organized crime groups? Well, just like in the movies, cybercrime can be organized or disorganized. Similar to a mafia family tree, where there are different levels, roles, and networks. The organized crime groups enable high distribution and many layers of protection between the crime and the boss. It's like working for a company or for an army with a full management hierarchy. Some organized crime groups operate like call centers with guaranteed salary, human resources department, and work benefits. It is all about diversification of risk. The mafia groups started to make and sell counterfeit goods as the profit versus repercussions were much higher than human or drug trafficking. The same is true for financial fraud, which is seen as a faceless crime with a fast entry and many opportunities. A typical organized crime group is able to recruit and train non organized crime groups or individuals and even make money for their services. They influence other criminal groups and have an organized training program for their soldiers. With a constant demand from the population, they have a solid business model. In order to exist, cybercrime needs several components. First, activities, the products, or what exactly criminals are doing in order to obtain financial gain. Second, components, what cybercrime is made of and what it's using in order to deliver its services. Third, basic requirements like hosting and internet. This is where malicious stuff is residing. 4. Advanced hosting or obfuscation. In case criminals are willing to invest more in their campaigns, they can opt for some hiding tools to stay undetected for longer times. Now, what is the cost for malware, stolen identities, or other tools of the cyber criminal trade? Less than you think. Pricing for crime as a service is low. You can purchase malware services, subscribe to professional services, integrate infrastructure as a service, or even deploy already made exploits. The menu of options is incredible, with many widely available items and services becoming very common. The receipt showcases how cheaply crooks can get started in their criminal enterprises. Now it's time for some underground shopping together. Okay, a client, is up to no good and visits the underground market. The client is being introduced to an exploit framework seller. The exploit framework is being sold at a certain price. Now the client purchases exploits and it's being delivered to him. And to make the exploit even more stealth, the client can also purchase an obfuscation. When the obfuscation is bought, the exploit becomes obfuscated. The client is finally purchasing a compromised website where he can upload his exploit framework. The compromised website is being sold to the client. The exploitation framework is being uploaded into the compromised website. Finally, visitors of the compromised website are infected once they visit the website or invoke a certain functionality. All in all, even if one may not have any advanced or even basic computer skills, it is enough for the client to know the right people and have funds to purchase goods and services. With just a hacked PC, the following attack vectors become available: web service for various malicious campaigns, email attacks, stealing of virtual goods, reputation hijacking, stealing of account credentials and financial credentials. Finally, even hostage attacks. With just a hacked email, the following attack vectors become available: breach of privacy, spam, license harvesting, stealing of employer documents, financial damage, and retail resale. This concludes the first chapter devoted to exploring the fraud organization. Learn more today. Visit VASCO.com.